I can't believe I'm fucking doing this, but I take it back. I take it back, okay? All the bad things I said about Final Fantasy VIII, because I didn't know, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know how fucking terrible this series would get past this, you know? Because, I mean, okay. The combat and the drawing magic stuff was annoying at times, but, it still felt like it belonged in a Final Fantasy game as opposed to that weird pseudo-real-time MMO-style fuckery that number 12 had. You didn't have to micromanage and waste your friggin' time leveling up your characters. All you had to do was link magic spells to attributes. That was simple enough, and I understood what was going on. They didn't have to screw around with needlessly complicated sphere grids and license boards and these Crystarium fucking things that offer the illusion of choice, but are still every bit as linear as before. They only serve to grind the game to a screeching halt and needlessly complicate a system that should be automatic if they're not actually gonna do anything with it. Final Fantasy VIII, at least, didn't fuck that up. The plot was goofy and stupid, sure, but at least things fucking happened. I understood character motivations. The setting was established and explained. The technology was silly, but it was comprehensible. Even the sorceress and her time compression thing was explainable. Irrational, but explainable. And at least this really was Squall's story, as opposed to Titus, whose story this definitely was not. Fuck you! And as for Vaughn, I mean, why the fuck is he even in this game? Who the fuck is Vaughn? He has no fucking reason to be in this game. He even kinda looks like Titus, that little pimple dick. Really? How fucking hard is it to tell a story where the main character is the main character? If Final Fantasy VIII were made today, they'd tell it from Zell's perspective, the chicken wuss. They didn't do that because Squall is the main character. The entire story is about Squall. He has his rivalry with Cypher, he's in love with Rinoa, and he's conflicted about having to possibly kill her when she becomes the living vessel for the reincarnated sorceress. Oh, and side note, this has nothing to do with anything, but I still feel humiliated and sincerely apologize for that gay sissy gay thing I did in the first episode. I really don't know what in the hell I was thinking. I deserve every single rebuke you can give me over that one. And then there's me not knowing what the word eponymous means. So, I'm sorry. Really. I mean, obviously I have a history with Final Fantasy VIII. I hated it as a kid, and I don't really like it now, but I had no idea. I had no idea how much worse this series would get. And worse.
All hail Vaughn, sky part of Damaska. It's got a nice ring to it. Stay out of trouble.
And worse.
Do not shake the slippery tube.
And worse.
And don't forget the rotten cheese.
Why do I have to do all the work?
And, oh Jesus God! What mother pumpers designed this? Gah! And to think, I was complaining about the silliness of flying around in a building. Little did I fucking know that the mere ability to walk anywhere I wanted, much less fly, were privileges I took entirely for granted. Which, at long last, brings me to Final Fantasy XIII. And no, I have no idea why it took me so fucking long to review this piece of shit. Just remember something for me before we start. No matter what you see and no matter what happens in this fucking game, it gets worse. It gets way fucking worse. But we've got to start somewhere, and this game is plenty fucking bad, so let's go. So to understand why this game is so terrible on an almost subconscious level, you have to experience it the way I initially experienced it. On its release date, day one, just no Q public, playing it for the first time, not knowing anything that happens. So let's climb inside my head for a little bit. No, not like that. Alright, so these are basically my exact thoughts as I'm playing this for the first time. Okay, we're on a train. And there's a Helgast from Killzone here with a gun. There's a bunch of people wearing robes, and these robes are really stupid looking. And God, the trailer for this game was fucking worthless.
Rated Teen.
Right? Do you remember that? That was actually the trailer they used for TV. I mean, what the fuck was that? Wow, this game looks cool! There's a bunch of brief, completely unrelated scenes that tell us nothing about the story, with huge yellow numbers obscuring most of the action. They all form a picture of a chick we don't know! Yeah! Gentle J-pop music! I am so fucking pumped for this game now! Makes me totally in the mood to kill some fucking stormtroopers and derail this goddamn train, yeah! Hey, action! There we go! She jumps up and kicks this dude's ass and smashes some remote, which frees all the dudes in the stupid robes.
You alright? I'm out of Lassie.
Okay. What's a Lassie?
I'm out of Lassie.
Oh, God, that's just gross, man. How much bird shit do you think's collected in that dude's afro by now? Do you ever clean out a fucking bird cage? Because that's what that dude's hair smells like. Okay, so we're barely a minute in, and I'm already completely grossed out by Afro Guy here. The Kung Fu chick snaps her fingers, which creates an energy shield or something, I don't know. But it lets her fly all the way across the train car to drop kick another dude. And she floats, and then there's bullet time, and then stands on the ceiling to gun down a bunch more dudes. Man, that was pretty fucking cool, actually. Never seen that before. That'll be fun to play with.
They all want to fight.
Good for them.
Oh, cool, and now there's flying robots shooting at the train, so she takes a rocket launcher away from the guy. Wait, why would you need a rocket launcher on a train? Because nobody else in this world has flying robots, so what would you possibly need a rocket launcher for? Whatever, so the aircraft destroy the railway ahead, and another giant robot thing lands on the train and starts to tear it apart, so she climbs on top of the train to go stop it. Why would a robot make a roaring noise? It's a robot.
Hey, let's be rational now.
Anyway, you fight it, and the robot deploys arms with 4 buzzsaw blades. Because why would you bother with boring old laser guns and missiles when you can put fucking buzzsaws on the end? Wait, no! Electro buzzsaws! Hey, you want effective or you want awesome. You can't have both, people. Now, here's one thing that kind of illustrates what I'm talking about. One of those intangibles that you probably don't think about consciously. How does she know that she can take this thing on in a one-on-one fight? What is it anyway? A Manasvin war mech? Manasvin? What's a Manasvin? No, really, how does she know that she can beat up this war mech? What makes her think she even has a chance? Look at the size of this fucking thing. It's the size of an 18-wheeler, man. She's what, 5'4" tops? It's got buzzsaws bigger than she is. And all she's got is this sword, and it's got this big-ass death cannon. It'd be like me attacking a Sherman tank with a weed whacker. It'd be like this guy going after Ed 209 with a letter opener. Yeah, I wouldn't like his chances. And don't even fucking tell me she's a super soldier or she's got some kind of anime magic or whatever. Even Solid Snake used a fucking truckload of Stinger missiles. Oh yeah, the death cannon. Look, you can see it clearly charging up, right? So why did she just stand there looking right into it? And then she attacks and jumps directly back into its line of fire. Why the fuck would she do that? Is there any way I can tell her not to stand right in front of the death ray? Because that seems like a smarter strategy to me. Oh well, I win! Yay! 5 stars! And all I did was hammer the X button. Oh, and look at my score! It's certainly... well, it sure is a number. I have no idea what it means or how it's calculated and who gives a shit. Is a score really relevant when I don't know what a good score even is? I mean, you just see some numbers and ooh, stars! I figure the score determines the star rating of the fight, which determines what quality of items drop. But the points needed for each star rating undoubtedly change depending on how tough the monster is and how many of them there are. So bottom line, the points are absolutely meaningless. It all just boils down to win the fight as fast as you can. Once you beat it, the mech explodes and falls into the abyss. God, that was easy. It can literally rip a train in half and try to suplex the wreckage on you, but its electro buzzsaws and death ray barely cause minor redness and irritation on a 120-pound woman wearing no armor. And despite its massive size, strength, mobility, and ultra-modern steel armor, it's taken out in a matter of seconds with a pair of .45 caliber pistols. Fucking RoboCop at least had an anti-tank rifle. He didn't try to go after it with that gun of his, and that thing was a fucking hand cannon.
Shit. Man. Chocobo, we just can't catch a break, can we?
And so begins the hallway. The endless 40-hour hallway. You have not known pain until you have seen the hallway, for there is no escape. No free will, the only way is the way forward. The dread of inevitability, the shackles of fate, our choices preordained by programmers, our existence meaningless without choices of our own. The only way is forward, the path laid out for us, the choices already made. The monsters you encounter are invariant. They are planned to the last detail. There is no randomness or chance. You fight them because you are meant to. You fight them so that you are at the level the game requires you to fight the bosses. No more, no less. Oh, you may find that the hallway branches off at times and you think you've escaped. But these paths only lead perhaps 50 yards to a dead end and some minor treasure. And with no way to continue, you must go back and return to the hallway. Sometimes you may enter a wider room, some larger area, but there is still only one way in and one way out, and the hallway continues. Here we find a save point where we save our game and do our shopping. This is because the save points are also the item stores, and the weapon stores, and the armor stores, and the accessory stores, and the crafting shit stores. Once again, it's this strange meta concept that makes your brain itch. It makes no sense. It's just kinda wrong. What then is a save point? What purpose does this floating machine serve to people who live in this game world? When someone in Cocoon sees a save point, what do they say it is? And this isn't just some abstract ball of light that you walk into that doesn't actually exist in the game world. This thing must exist. People in the game world must recognize it as something because it allows someone to purchase anything they want in the entire world and have it delivered instantly to them. So how are these things delivered? Is it like a replicator from Star Trek? How do you pay for things? Is it like a credit card, or do you put cash in a slot on the machine? Can these financial transactions be traced in any way by the government? I ask because it might one day be necessary for them to find some wanted fugitives, which would be really easy in a world that only handles electronic currency. Or do people still seriously carry around huge sacks of gil coins with them? Another question, why would there be a machine that links to an online store that instantly delivers automatic weapons and swords to people? Is it common for your average civilian to buy swords in Cocoon? I would think the first store you'd see would be for groceries, or diabetes supplies, or sex toys. What if a child stole some cash and bought guns on the save point machine? And what's a store just doing here in the middle of some road or walkway or wherever the fuck we are? Wouldn't it block traffic? Why would you put a store here? It'd be like putting a hot dog cart in the fast lane of a freeway. Oh, I can explain why they put all the item stores into the save points. It's because coding actual physical item stores into the game would also mean creating towns and cities to put them in. And having towns would mean you'd have this big open area you're free to move in, and freedom of movement implies you'd have this place to explore and do subquests in and have fun and leave the hallway, and we can't very well fucking have that now, can we? And why is there this weird robo-sphere of treasure thingy just doing here too? I mean, there's technological, and then there's just a waste of fucking resources. Who put this thing here, and why? Wouldn't it just be cheaper to use a cardboard box instead of this floating metal robotic thing? And why does it have a potion inside it? If this is such an advanced technological society, aren't potions a little old-fashioned? Potions seem to imply alchemy or magic, when clearly technology and science are the dominant forces here. Once again, this game decides to include something that directly contradicts the game's futuristic atmosphere. A potion inside a robosphere. I just don't get it. Wouldn't it be more logical to buy a first aid kit here, or a stim pack, or bandages? Hell, even healing jelly makes more sense, because at least that's something manufactured that you might see commercially available in this world. Well, look, now clearly boxes exist, so what lame crap is in those? They must be worth less than a single potion, because apparently they don't warrant the floating treasure spheres.
Ah, for the love of all that's good!
Here's another thing that just kind of takes you out of the game. If Saz is so scared, why does he bother with the goofy gun kata poses that assuredly would cause him to be much less accurate? Why does this lever move along a Z shape? Is that necessary? Would it not work if it wasn't in a Z shape? And I have to ask once again, why would anyone here ever not carry a gun? Why is this always an issue whenever Final Fantasy is set in a world where guns exist? I get that if everyone used a gun, it limits weapon variety, but it still doesn't make sense to do otherwise. Now, for those of you who don't know what guns allow you to kill someone from very, very far away. And in some cases, like, say, this aerial sniper, from really far away. And these guys do it while flying in the air at the same time, which is way better than modern snipers who even today can punch a hole in a dime from a kilometer away. And the reason they do it from that distance is precisely so people don't run up and stab them in the face with a sword. Ah, she's stabbing me in the face with a sword! My jetpack is useless! Dude, just fly away and shoot them. Fly away! Your guns are bigger and more accurate, and by the way, you can fucking fly! Don't you think you'd have to study for years in the military to be promoted to the special jetpack sniper squad? Do you really think they'd give jetpacks and sniper rifles to morons who just fly around in circles playing grab ass? Yeah, we're totally spinning donuts in our jetpacks, dude!
What's your angle?
My angle. I'm after the Foul Sea.
Just what you were looking for. The post-Foul Sea.
Oh, right, yeah, of course. What's a pulse fallacy? Yeah, whatever, it's not important to explain the objective of our mission. Let's go over to another group of rebels fighting it out in the streets. The rebels are also allied with the Maquis, which would make the soldiers we're fighting... the Federation? This is Snow.
What can you possibly do?
Snow is an idiot.
Since when have heroes ever needed plans?
Who punches things?
But I gotta do something, right?
These people need heroes. What's our motto?
I don't know, what's the matter with you?
What's our motto?
The army's no match for Nora.
Attaboy.
Oh, wow. That is seriously, like, the most boring, unmemorable motto I've ever heard in my life. I've already forgotten what it was. It's not exactly the sort of thing you'd put on a bumper sticker, is it? It's no Wolverines. Shit, it's not even Calvin peeing on a logo window decal.
Yo, boss. What's the plan?
Charge in, guns blazing.
That's a great plan. Charge in, guns blazing. Could work, if Snow ever carried a fucking gun!
Real heroes don't need plans.
Wow, that's incredibly debatable. And almost always untrue. This is so fucking hilarious. Snow charges the killer robot dogs with foot-long razor blades for claws, and then the army soldiers carrying assault rifles, and he does this bare-handed. You see that? And he wins. Who does this guy think he is, Zell? Look, if it didn't work out for Bruce Lee, you're not gonna sell me on it happening here. Because, I mean, look, Snow and his guys are defending a bunch of refugees against this 15-foot-tall, 30-foot-long armored robotic behemoth. So naturally, the most logical course of action is to attack it with no weapons whatsoever. Okay, he's not fucking Beowulf here, you know? This is so fucking silly, it's impossible to take seriously, even in a world of robots, flying cities, and magic. There's suspension of disbelief, and there's get the fuck out. The man would turn his fists into red rubber lumps of crushed meat and bone before he'd scratch the fucking paint on this robot. But no, not only does Snow cause more damage to it with his hands than automatic weapons would, he punches the fucker so hard he completely obliterates it. Look, I'm not lying! The fucking thing is gone! This thing must weigh like 6 tons and he fucking annihilated it with an uppercut.
Total protonic reversal.
Right, that's bad.
Okay, look, I know in older Final Fantasy games you had guys like Sabin who had, like, hardcore martial arts. Dude suplexed a fucking train, for Christ's sakes. Fucking look at this! That is awesome! But here's the difference, and this is highly complex, so try to follow my reasoning here. Snow couldn't hold Sabin's jock. Sabin is some kind of magic monk dude with his mystic chi powers. At the very least, he had some form of martial arts training, agreed? And even he equipped weapons, whereas Snow is just some guy. He's just a dude with a trench coat. He doesn't know any martial arts. There's nothing exceptional about him physically or mentally.
Hang on, baby! Your hero's on the way!
Clearly not mentally. Now, look at this again from the perspective of one of the soldiers in the game world. If a guy can just walk up and casually punch a military war mech into oblivion, what fucking good are they? Maybe they should stop making their robots out of fucking tinfoil. Jesus! Whoever bought these robots should really get a refund. Now here's a scene that really pisses me off to no end. I can't even fucking believe this. Okay, so Lightning and Saz are walking around when the road ends in a drop-off of like a few hundred feet. Hey Lightning, this is it! You can leap to your death and get out of this game! Yay! Oh. Just before hitting the bottom, she does that finger-snapping thing from before, which activates her science-y anti-gravity force field what's-it, that lets her drift safely to the ground. Cool, right? I mean, finally, something sci-fi, something gadgety, something that kind of makes sense that soldiers would have, and I haven't seen anything like this before. It makes you float, it makes you super fast, or it slows things down to bullet time. It looks like something that's really going to be fun to play with. Just imagine all the stuff you could do with a gadget like this. I don't know, maybe leveling up various powers, or making you faster or stronger. You could use it as a shield. Build an entire game around this thing, and it's by far the coolest thing in Final Fantasy XIII. She never uses it again. No, really. After this, we never even bother with the science-y gadget thing. It's gone. Are you beginning to see how... You don't need to be a fucking film student to figure out in how many ways this is fucking stupid. It's like whoever wrote this garbage had no understanding of the most basic, fundamental rules of storytelling. You don't do this! You don't put a loaded rifle on stage in the first act if nobody ever fucking fires it in the entire rest of the play! Otherwise, it's stupid, it's pointless, it's superfluous, and most importantly, it's a complete waste of fucking time! It's Chekhov's fucking gun, goddammit! And no, I know there's some Final Fantasy geek out there who's about to correct me by bringing up this fucking scene. Fuck you! This scene from way later in the game is not the same thing. Although, even I thought it was at first, because it sure confused the shit out of me. They want to jump from this height like a mile up, right? So Lightning is all, use your gravity thing, and Fang is like, oh yeah, our gravity things. Like, she knows the fuck she's talking about, even though she's been in stasis for like over a century and has no idea the fuck this thing is. And then everyone's got a gravity thing that is pulled right out of their asses. Hey, what the fuck are these things now? Where did they get them? These clearly aren't the same things Lightning used before, or fuck, I don't know, are they? I'm so confused right now. It turns out they're called gravity bombs, which are apparently not the same thing as Lightning's device, which is called a grav-con. The gravity bomb is like some kind of hand grenade the PSICOM soldiers use to safely land when dropping out of an aircraft. Not that you'd have any way of knowing that, because neither device is named or even mentioned out loud at any time in the entire game. It's buried somewhere in the hundreds of data logs that nobody ever seriously reads. At least I think it is, because I couldn't find it. I had to find this out on a Final Fantasy wiki. This isn't a game, it's fucking homework! How do they even know how the gravity bombs work? They can't have ever used them before, considering this is military hardware. Like, if I just walked up to you and handed you this thing and said, oh, it's a gravity bomb, now go ahead and jump off this cliff. You know, nobody has any questions about this? Before we make a precision, extremely high-altitude jump none of you have ever attempted before? Okay, so everyone already knows how to operate this highly sophisticated and completely unfamiliar gadget that's the only thing keeping you from hitting the ground at 125 miles an hour? Okay, cool, see you at the bottom! Just look at this poor kid. Vanille doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. Nobody wants to point out the fucking on button to the kids, at least? I can't even make a call on somebody else's cell phone without asking how it works first. You'd think I'd want to try it falling at terminal velocity? And besides, why would you just hand something called a gravity bomb to a child with no explanation to how it works?
You could have warned me!
Potentially hitting the ground at a speed that would have instantly liquefied your corpse if you hadn't used your gravity bomb exactly right? Ah, shit, I knew I forgot something. I'm sorry, it slipped my mind.
She can do it, so can we.
Oh, yeah, right. Fuck you! Not only is the field still inexplicably there, but he manages to hit this tiny exact same spot she did. And it's not like Lightning gave enough of a shit about this guy to leave the field on, because look how surprised she is to see him plummeting towards the ground. She barely gets out of the way. He should have hit the ground so goddamn hard there'd be nothing left but chunky salsa.
We're going home together!
Alright, so after beating up Metal Gear, he rescues a bunch of refugees who wear really stupid robes. Some of them volunteer to fight with Snow, so he orders them, all of whom, by the way, are completely untrained in the use of firearms, to pick up a rifle and go to town.
Alright, last one. Somebody take it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't see this going wrong in any way.
Push comes to shove. Keep him safe.
Mom? Don't worry.
Great mom, just abandoning her kid in a war zone when not 20 seconds ago, Snow asked for a volunteer to stay behind and guard the other refugees. The army counterattacks with a new, even bigger Metal Gear. It's about to kill Snow when Mom here blasts it with a rocket launcher, which I'm pretty sure she didn't have before, and I have no idea where she picked it up. Suddenly, a laser blast destroys the road, gravely injuring Mom. despite her having no outward sign of injury of any kind. Another explosion hits and knocks them over the edge. They cling there desperately, but Snow can't hold on to her, and Mom falls to her death while two kids, Hope and Vanille, look on. Yeah, Snow can kill a 60-ton robot with his bare fists, but he can't lift a 120-pound woman. And then he falls to his death! Yay! Oh, come on! Boo! Foul! Wrong! The guy clearly fell at least 100 feet, likely much more than that, and he's fine. It didn't even knock the wind out of him. Oh, but the woman's dead. I suppose. I can't tell because we never see her body, even though they fell from the exact same place. Oh, I know, maybe Snow landed on her fucking corpse and she cushioned his fall. Yeah, good thing Hope didn't see that. He'd be really mad. So, you've got all these refugees left behind, and why are they wearing robes? People wear robes in the future? Or is it just children because it'd just be stupid for adults to wear robes in the future? Why do parts of the robes glow? Is it like a future thing, the glowing robes? Do robes without the glowing dangly things cost less? What do the glowing dangly things do? They look really heavy and inconvenient to wear, so why would anyone want them on their future robe if they don't fucking do anything? Why do some kids have one glowy circle on their stupid head thingy and some kids have 5, or a bunch of diamond glowy shapes? Is that why people are rebelling against the government? Because of the fucking stupid robes? Do they make people wear the robes anywhere else? Because I don't think you see anyone else wearing the robes except on the train. So everyone who gets put on the train gets a glowing robe? Why? What does it even mean? I mean, if you're just gonna dump them on some planet to die, why would you bother giving them robes? Especially robes that glow and look kind of expensive because of the glowing parts. So once they're off the train, why don't they just take the robes off? I mean, these kids do, and they're wearing street clothes underneath. Is it because the pointed Russian dance shoes are just really comfortable? Do they slip on over your normal shoes? Because these kids still have their normal shoes. They're not in the pointed toe shoes anymore. Why would you keep wearing the huge puffy pointed toe slippers if you didn't have to? What in the hell are the glowing dangly things for? Salad jelly, I get, it's a food or some shit, but the dangly things just seem fucking pointless. Why would they send the one guy with the remote control that can release all the prisoner restraints into the car with all the prisoners? You know, in case one of the incredibly dangerous Pulseless Sea that can wield powerful destructive magics decides that she doesn't want to be exiled and killed and then jumps out of her chair and kicks his fucking... Yeah, that. Wouldn't you keep the remote somewhere secure, far away from the train car full of desperate prisoners being sentenced to exile and death who have nothing to lose at all by attempting to escape? I think I might try to escape if I was about to be sent to a planet full of monsters who wanted to eat my face. I wouldn't even have to try that hard. Hell, I wouldn't even have to get up. I'd just fucking kick the guy in the nuts and smash the remote and boom, instant prisoner riot. And you don't even have to enter a code or anything to open the prisoner restraints? What if the guard just dropped it or fell down or something and accidentally smashed it with his ass? Every restraint in the train would just pop open? That seems like an obvious and easily correctable design flaw. Maybe the remote's to let prisoners on the train get up and take a piss. How would you go pee wearing robes that look so fucking inconvenient? Think of it, how did Jedis take a piss with all those robes on? How does Darth Vader take a piss with those leather pants and that codpiece thing? Maybe his wiener burned off. I can't really see Darth Vader standing at a urinal. Maybe he goes to pee in that isolation chamber thing, like that chair in the middle's actually a toilet. It would kind of explain why this guy looks so uncomfortable if he just walked in on Darth Vader taking a shit. That's pretty much what it's like being me. I just went on this huge, obsessive-compulsive rant about a minuscule, completely insignificant aspect of the game's art design that has nothing to do with the story at all, and everything you just heard was maybe 10 seconds of all the thoughts that run through my head. Pretty much all the time. I'm not even kidding. I cannot turn it off. I'm not even an hour into this game. I think I'm gonna die. But don't worry if it seems like I'm absolutely crawling through this game way too slowly, because after this opening scene, I can pretty much blow through about 25 hours of completely uneventful wandering and bitching.
I hope the wires aren't fried.
This game has more padding than a 13-year-old girl's bra. Anyway, Snow walks away from his drop of several hundred feet without so much as a limp or a bruised ass. Fucking Gandalf didn't fall that far in Khazad-dûm, and that dude's a wizard. And even he almost died from that. Oh, shit! Eventually, Snow finds his buddy Godot unconscious from the Metal Gear attack and slaps him awake.
Come on, come on!
Oh, come on, Godot. Would you move your ass, please? Get up! Time's a-wastin'! Stop being such a pussy, man. Snow fell off a fucking cliff and he's fine.
What about the others? They didn't die. They couldn't have died.
Godot, dude, you're fucking killing me here, because I'd like to finish this review sometime in the next century. But no, we're all just sitting here waiting for Godot. That's my time, folks. I'm out of here, but I'll see you in part 2.
Am I stealing your spot? Yes, sir. I heard that curtain. Jackass. Gotta get lost to grenade. I need them notice. How can you play so many shitty games when you pass out each deal on the drive? A movie director was party on crack. The Spoonie is the only angle going back. Spoonie experiment. Spoonie experiment. Spoonie experiment.
We're going home together!
Come on! Everybody up!
All right, lay low and you'll be fine. We'll clear out the area.
Right. New recruits, on me!